I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while saying Archaea F it and showing a range of dude voices. Hey HBs, welcome back for part 2. Don't worry, yesterday wasn't all of the vine swinging that we're going to get, but before that, we've got something special coming up for you this week on Patreon and our Apple Podcast subscription. Sabrina and I sat down for a public episode, but I thought I could start talking about the latest season of Love is Blind for banter, and roughly an hour later, we were obviously no longer there for a regular episode. So you're getting all of my thoughts on season 10 of Love is Blind up through episode 11, so right before the weddings actually happen. Y'all, it's a garbage fire, but I can't stop watching, and I had to vent about it. That'll be coming out this Friday. Bonus episodes are available on Patreon, where you can also get early and ad-free episodes, live virtual hangs, and more. We've actually got some new beauties supporting us there, so I get to shout them out now. Welcome, you perfect cherubs. Hannah L., Claire P., Heart Emoji, Macy E., Lucia S., and Cassie R.H. Now, when we left you yesterday, Miri and Rafa had just taken over a boat by force and kissed the daylights out of each other. And that's where we're jumping in. Here's part 2 of our recap of Temple of Swoon by Jo Segura. Yeah, so they have this hard makeout and it's super hot. And then he's like, we need to teach you how to throw a punch. And she's like, oh, wow, okay, so that meant nothing to you. And meanwhile, I'm over here all hot and bothered. And she's really mad about it. And it's kind of, I would feel the same level of rejection, you know? So finally, she's like, okay, we can't do this while you're in the sluttiest Ninja Turtle shirt I've ever seen, okay? It shouldn't be hot, but it is. And especially when, you are not attracted to me, obviously. And he's like, oh, no, you're so wrong. I am so attracted to you. I just know that I can't kiss you again until we don't have an audience. So I'm distracting myself from how much I just want to slurp your tongue up. What, Sabrina?
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
As to what is on those fans.
Okay.
So I did a little research. And by research, I mean the fastest thing I could possibly do. The most expensive archaeology item that I could find on this miscellaneous archaeology site was like $40 US dollars.
No.
And so I rounded up. I went to 50.
To 50,000?
$50. And then the most expensive compass I could find that was, or like the best compass that literally 6 different articles all sent me to this specific compass is $65.
No.
So on this Vans,
yes,
there is $200,000 worth of electronics equipment, and then 2,000 miscellaneous archaeology tools, including unicorn hair brushes, and then 1,538 compasses.
No, you know what else? I bet we need like Amazonian, tents that are strong enough for the Amazon and like roughing it materials too. I bet is part of it.
Okay. All right. So there's still
high grade camping shit.
1,000 compasses and 1,500 other miscellaneous tools. I can live with that.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
There you are. I answered the big bad question of what the fuck is all these things.
Yeah.
And frankly, one of the big things when they're on these two vans is like, how are we going to we can't fit everybody and the stuff into one van.
Right.
And frankly, 1,000 compasses and 1,500 brushes takes up a lot of space.
Plus,
so you're right.
All those
They're
sleeping bags,
And sleeping bags and tents.
Yeah. Plus the canned beans
right.
you got to have on any camping trip.
And not the one that is sitting in the back of Melody's fridge.
No.
We learned about in one of the other things that we recorded
That's
today.
a whole science experiment over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, once they're at night times, everybody's taking shifts between sleeping and driving the boat. However, these two are actually taking shifts making out or driving the boat. And it's very cute. And then I was vindicated in a way that I didn't know I needed, Sabrina. Okay? Here's the deal. They wake up in the morning and Rafa finds a bunch of like fruit and stuff that they can indulge in. Because they don't have any of the other like food and stuff that they brought, right? So when I was growing up in Hawaii, fruit was obviously like one of the main staples of my childhood diet, right? And when we came to Oregon, I was always so really, really let down because all we had were like regular bananas. And I barely ever ate regular bananas in Hawaii because I had what I know as apple bananas. And they're these like little itty bitty cute little bananas that are like tangy and sweet and delicious. And they were one of my favorite foods ever. Then I meet this like gargantuan monstrosity that has barely any taste whatsoever unless it's just like sickly sweet. You know what I mean?
Great example of bigger isn't always better.
This is what I'm saying. Yes. But for a while...
It's the motion of the ocean, the tang of the apple banana.
Yes. And for a while, I thought maybe I had just made it up.
Chode bananas.
Because I kept on asking people like, oh, have you ever had an apple banana? And they were like, what? I've never even heard of that. So I was like, did I just like invent? Is this like my imaginary friend from my childhood? Is these apple bananas I've never been able to encounter again? Turns out, no, everybody, they are real, okay? They are real. They're just really hard to get in the States.
Google them?
I don't think it was that important to me. Also, when I was having these thoughts, I was in the middle. I mean, I don't think my house had power at that point. So, like, remember there was like a couple of years in Oregon where we were pioneer women, my mom and I, before we like dug our own trench to get the water to the house. And like, it wasn't super high tech over there. And then I just forgot.
I will say, I'm sure that not to promote capitalism at its worst.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm sure that they're disgusting versions, but you can buy 2.5 pounds of them for $30 on Amazon.
Ew. No, they're not going to be good.
That's bold, Instacart. Instacart is telling me it can get me a pound of them in under an hour, and I'm like, I don't think you know where I live.
Yeah. Latudan banana is a popular hybrid from the Philippines known as apple banana or silk banana. Yeah, anyway, they're tiny and they're delicious and they're one of my favorite things from my childhood. And they're real, everyone. I confirmed in this very book. Thank you, Jo Segura. So anyway, they're like still flirting and being adorable. And they finally end up, getting to the eco motel they were going to. And that is when she informs the team that they're going to start like looking around this jungle for this like table rock that they wanted to find. And so for the next like 3 or 4 weeks. Oh, wait. The other thing is he tells her that the only way he will agree to like carry on with this mission and everything is if she makes sure to tell everyone how dangerous it is now, because it's very clear that they are on the radar of the Voltour, who is an archaeology bandit. And he's really aggressive, and he'll like fuck people up.
Every time you say Voltour, I think that you're talking about the Volturi from Twilight.
Stop it.
And it makes me laugh because I couldn't pronounce it to save his name to save my life now that you've said Voltour. But like there's no L.
It's vulture in French.
It's not the Volturi. Yeah, that's fine. There's no L in his name, though. But you make me think of the Volturi. And
how is it spelled?
It is just V-A-U-T. It's like Vautour.
Oh.
Very subtle difference, but it does make me laugh, and it does remind me just how much I have brain rot for Twilight because of the time that I grew up in.
Ah, indeed. Indeed. Well, I read this in audio, and so when they said, I heard Voltour the whole time, but it's Vautour.
That's fine. That's fine. It just makes me laugh every single time.
And it is vulture in French. So.
It is. They explicitly say that in the book,
yes.
that it's vulture in French.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
One of them.
So he is like always trying to get her out of here and like get her to give up. Meanwhile, he's getting like pretty frequent calls from his dad being like, has she given up yet? Why hasn't she given up yet? Why are you guys still there? I thought you were going to handle this. What's going on with your sabotage? And he's like, Dad, I'm trying, but also like, she's just like fucking rad, you know? She describes herself as rad and it becomes like an inside joke. But he's just like, she's...
Oh my God. And there's one moment where like his dad is like, I know what it's like down there and meeting a woman and falling in love. And Rafa's like, what? No, that's not how that works. That's not what's happening at all. But like, it is. We all know it is.
Yeah.
Outside looking in, that's what it is.
It is. But they also decide, both of them come to the conclusion that they need to stop whatever this canoodling they're doing is. She's like, I need to be taken seriously as the lead of this archaeology expedition. And he's like, I can't sabotage her and fuck her at the same time. I'll feel terrible.
Yes, and they have that conversation like kind of in passing a couple of times, but what really the nail in that coffin is they're at campfire. It's weeks of not finding anything. Everyone's exhausted. A few people have left, et cetera, and then they're at the fire and somebody has to see the pictures he's taken.
Yeah.
And he gives them his camera, which like bold move,
Wowie.
my friend.
Yeah.
But he gives it to them, and then they do, in fact, see a gazillion pictures of Miri. And a lot of them are not the kind of picture that you're going to necessarily put in a not Nat Geo magazine. This is for him.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret. With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Yeah, they're not like nudes, but it's obvious that like he just finds her fascinating.
Yes.
And so they're making fun of him for it.
She's the bird, and he's the bird pervert.
Sure.
Have you ever heard that, Melody?
No.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite things in the whole world. So like there's this, I think it's probably Tumblr because I live there. But like it's like anyone ever think about how like bird watchers are really just perverts? Like they sit there with their cameras and their books, and they use mating calls whistles. So they're just like out into the wilderness. They're like, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. And then the bird shows up, and you're like, picture, picture, picture. So,
yeah, it's like
one
that.
of my favorite, which like, dude, it's just bird perverts, and it's the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my life. Because like,
really funny.
Objectively,
they're not wrong.
By human standards, you're right.
Yeah.
That is weird and perverted.
I like
and the
it.
birds are like, hey, I want that D.
Yeah,
and
what false
you're just
advertising?
Like, joke's on you. I'm gonna...
Yeah, so she's the bird and he's the bird pervert is what's happening. And as he is like trying to sort of defend himself, he's like,
Can
no.
that be an embrace category next year?
I like that.
Bird pervert. Oh God, continue.
Well,
I'm so happy I got to open your eyes.
so during this time, they do find the table rock and they end up, you know, trying to excavate around it for a cool like week and a half.
Very, very importantly, they find it because she ends up clumsily falling off a cliff and Tarzan swinging her way through a thing of vines.
Yeah, that looks like a
into
wall.
the secret hidey hole.
Yeah. Everybody thinks she's going to go kersplat against this moss-covered wall, but it turns out it is a mirage. It is an illusion of nature, and she goes right through an illusion. Yes.
Yeah, and everybody else is boring and like climbs their way down and back up,
Yeah.
but he also Tarzan swings after her.
Yeah, he has to get there first. He has to make sure she's okay. He has to check out all her parts and see if she's preserved in her best form.
He doesn't. No, Melody. I got sent that video from somebody who saw it on our YouTube. That short, they like sent it to me, and they were like, "Pretty sure that your face is preserved in the best form in this video."
Yeah!
And so I did go watch it.
That was me.
And it was like you can see the click
Yes.
in my eyes where I'm like,
Wait a minute.
that's the creepiest fucking way you could have possibly said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Anyway.
But yeah, so very, very important note though, he doesn't actually check out all of our parts this time.
No, not this time.
At the pretty blue stone table.
Yes. Yeah, but they do excavate there for like a week, and then she's like, we're not getting anywhere. We're not discovering anything. We got to start over.
Half the team is also left
Yeah.
because that night that the camera thing happened, she leaves and she tells him, like, we need to stop this. Like, you need to get the fuck away from me because they're not going to treat me as the lead of this expedition properly if they think that we're just fondling each other
Right.
in the underneath the stilt houses.
Not to
okay?
mention that the night before, he got drunk and waxed horrific about all of these protectors.
It's this night, so it's
Yeah.
even more offensive.
Oh.
And because she leaves, and then he
Yeah.
gets drunk and does that. A bunch of other people leave, and then the next day we have the distraction conversation, which is real hot. Because she goes up and knocks on his door, and he like opens it, and he reeks of some kind of liquor. But most importantly, he is in some very tiny black boxer shorts
Ooh.
and not much else.
Yeah.
And they're talking about distractions, and she says, I can't focus when I'm around
Yeah, can you get
You're
dressed?
a distraction.
I said, yeah, can you get dressed?
Yeah, no kidding. And he laughed again and took another step toward Miri. So close she could smell the scent of his aftershave from the day before, even through the alcohol, which, like, I'm so sorry. I'm not getting past that day-old booze from your pores. I can't do it.
No.
I could do it when I also had day-old booze leaking through
I
my
can't even
pores.
do it then.
I can't do it. God. It just makes you feel nauseous all over again. But anyway, so close she could feel the heat from his body. And I think it's funny that you think I'm the distraction,
Ooh.
he said with a devilish look in his eyes. And and she is like, yeah, look, yes, a distraction. Look, this expedition is important to me, and you're getting in the way.
Yeah.
I'm a distraction, he repeated. You look at me with those hungry eyes, taunt me by biting your lip as you stare at me, those same lips that you kissed me with, lips I desperately want to kiss again, and now you stand here challenging me wearing those cutesy, ridiculously thin pajamas that have the nerve to say sweet dreams when there was nothing sweet about my dreams last night, and you want to call me a distraction? Pringles, you are the very definition of a distraction.
Yeah.
Which I would like to point out that Pringles is possibly the cutest fucking nickname I've ever heard.
It's really cute. Yeah.
And it's so, like, personal to them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, she ends up calling it, right?
Yeah, because it's been 2 weeks and they haven't found shit.
Yeah. And she doesn't have anywhere else that she can go. And his dad called him and told him that the Vautours group has, like, left because one of them got bit by a snake and they were, like, airlifted out. So it's not even a situation where she should be worried about somebody finding the city before her. Because her thing is, I don't care if the Vautour is dangerous. If he's a treasure hunter, then I need to get to the city first so that I can preserve it. He's just going to ransack it.
One of the funniest things that is extremely, it's one of those moments where it's like, it's extremely niche knowledge, is in this book. And this book came out fairly recently. They're talking about how Vautour had LiDAR imagery, and that's how he's trying to find this thing and this whole thing. And there's so much talk about, like, how expensive it is, how, like, not everybody can get, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have a number you could call.
Oh.
I could get you LiDAR imagery. I worked for a company that did LiDAR photography.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's definitely, like, they're correct that, like, the Amazon rainforest is ginormous, even with deforestation. So, like, it's not realistic to, like, do it on a budget. But with the kind of money that Vautour apparently has to throw around, like, if he has any idea where this thing is, it's not that hard to get LiDAR. LiDAR's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. And it is expensive. It is several $100,000, but, like, the type of money that Vautour is throwing around, like, he probably owns cars that are more expensive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's bananas. But he is, like, they basically think that he's gone. She's just defeated. And God, it hurts him so much on the inside. Like, at some point, he's like, I stopped sabotaging weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's falling apart on its own. And I'm not even doing anything.
Right.
Because people are leaving. People aren't interested. Because he stopped after that night, essentially.
Yeah.
And he was like, I need this to fail, but I cannot be the reason that Miri fails.
Right. Because he also finds out from Miri that, like, this is her one and only shot, she thinks. In order to be taken seriously in academia, in order to have a chance at tenure at the university she works at.
It's not even she thinks. It's Berkeley told her boss told her, if you come back from this with nothing, you're going to have to find a new job.
Yeah.
You're out.
Don't bother coming back. Right.
Yeah. Because you're not going to get tenure and, like, go fuck yourself, basically. And it's like, that's bold. Also, the way they were talking about tenure, she's been working there for, like, 4 years as a professor or whatever and things like that. And I'm like, how long does it take to get tenure at Berkeley? Most places is 5 years, and she's already 4 years in, and you don't have any articles? Yeah, no shit, you're not getting tenure. Miri? What? Sorry, anyway.
Yeah, work harder, Miri. Jeez, you want to be Corey Mejia?
No, but, like,
nose to the grindstone,
it just, like,
Miri.
baffles me. Like, with that kind of timeline, yeah, you're right, Berkeley. Like, she shouldn't bother coming. But if she has, like, 4 more years before she goes up for tenure, like, she still has plenty of time.
I thought most places were at least 10 years.
So most places that I know of, tenure itself is like 5 or 6, but you're a full professor at, like, 10-ish years. And so you're tenured, but you get even more protection. Like, your least favorite professors are full professors almost certainly.
Sure.
Because, like, they're basically, like, once you've hit that, you're basically untouchable.
Okay, yeah.
So she decides she's going for a walk. She's like, I need to get out of here. I need to take a break. Like, I need a minute to myself. And he's like, well, you can't, like, go off on your own and whatever. But she's like, I'm gonna go. And he's like, well, no. And she ends up, like, stomping through the forest and finding this stone thing
that's covered in vines.
She cannot get around. And then she ends up like climbing along the side of it. And like, this is kind of a side thing. And I think we're off on the timeline a little bit on when she finds this, but
it's right when she
just
decides to
you
abandon the expedition at the rock.
Okay. And so she basically tells everyone, like, go back to camp. And then she fucks off into the forest, finds this stone thing. He goes after her because he doesn't want her, the love of his life, meandering the rainforest alone.
Angry.
She's a clumsy, hot mess when she's not pissed off.
Yeah. And she ends up falling all the way down this rock face.
Which, like, and it literally, there's an offhand comment thrown out, like, huh, it kind of looks like a face. And she's like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off. And it's like just such a throwaway comment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not.
But it's a clue they'll come back to.
Mm-hmm.
So look, she's moping with her BFF. The BFF's getting drunk because she's just done with this whole fucking thing. And one more person has quit, and she's like, okay, we actually can't logistically do this with the number of crew members that we have. So we got to call it. They're going to come for us tomorrow and take us to the airport. And he's like, what? No. And he shares his M&Ms with her. And so they end up having this whole like
gross legume chocolates.
Yum, big talk. And then it just starts pouring. And so she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run back to my cabin. And he's like, yeah, I have to run past yours to get to mine. So they run over there.
And I'm way farther away.
Yeah.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
So they run over there, and as he's about to let go of her so he can keep on running to his cabin, she pulls him back and pulls him into her cabin. They're soaking wet.
Is on TM, and it is hot.
He goes down on her like a champion. He's an Olympic cunnilingus.
He's on his knees.
Yes. From the back at first.
Thrown over his shoulder. From the back.
Yes, at first.
Sure.
And then she turns around and he throws one of her legs over his shoulder, and then he eats her with abandon until she comes like a freight train.
Like looking up at her while he's doing it. And like she's got her hands in his beautiful, beautiful wavy locks holding him down.
Yes.
It's hot. Start to finish, it's a good fucking sex scene.
Well, and then she pushes him back and she goes down on him like a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's great.
Mm-hmm. And then they end up like post-sex chatting, and they decide that they just want, she's like, it's like they wake up the next morning or something like that. And she's like, I want to just go look, because I've spent all of these weeks in the Amazon and looking for things, but I haven't just explored. It's our last day. It's like we only have a couple of hours before we get picked up, and I just want to see the place. And he's like, okay.
Well,
so
and
basically it's first date times.
I'm sorry, really quick, importantly, before this, they've both had conversations because she's like, have you ever felt like you're waiting for your life to start? That's sort of how I feel. And I don't know, now that I think about it,
oh my God,
I don't know if like making a big archaeological discovery would make me happy. And he's like, okay, what do you think would? And she says, being okay.
Literally, I have that quote because it's so intense.
Yeah.
Because he says, if finding the moon city won't bring you happiness, what will? He asked. She stared him straight in the eye, then spoke. Being content with not being some extraordinary, larger-than-life badass, and instead loving being me. Sometimes talking too much, often daydreaming about nothing, being a good archaeologist, even if it means never being a great one, telling corny jokes, being known for always bringing the best snacks, and wearing fanny packs like they're going out of style. She smiled and it warmed Rafa's heart. Did she really not see how amazing she was? He brushed her hair from her face with the pad of his thumb, wiping away a dried tear stain on her cheek. Pringles, everything you just said highlights why that you're the baddest badass of them all. You think I'm badass? She said with a smile. I think you're
everything. And he says basically what you just said perfectly encapsulates how I've been feeling, because I tried to quit my job right before this. And she's like, what are you talking about? Your life is amazing. And he's like, no, you're right. My job is one of a kind. I've been able to do incredible things with it, but I also have not been able to have any sort of actual life because I never know when I'm going to have to pack up and leave. The friends that I still have don't try to make plans with me anymore. I've never been able to keep a plant alive. I've never had a pet because I would abandon them all the time, and I want a real life. I want somebody to build a life with, to come home to, and that kind of thing. And so they both
wink, wink, nudge, nudge each other into maybe that could be.
Yeah,
us.
I'm pretty sure at this point they literally say if you're going to be jobless after this, if Berkeley is not going to take you back, then we could go anywhere. If you want to come back to DC with me or whatever, they're making long-term plans at this point. And so, yeah, she decides that she wants to actually take in the Amazon, and they are going to have this little date. But when they're there, she tells him about the list of landmarks, and they go back to the Table Rock, and she finds up above a place where the medallion fits. And it looks like, with that orientation, the medallion is pointing in a direction.
Hang the fuck on, Melody. We're in the same area of the rainforest, but you skipped over the cutest thing because he has his camera. And he's like, I still have to write an article.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to take some pictures. And they have the cutest, badass, sexy photography scene on the table.
She
and
keeps
it's
on
so
trying to do
fucking
Kardashian
cute.
duck lips for a National Geographic article. Miri!
Well, he says, she thinks that badass and sexy are equitable, essentially. It's a whole thing, and it's all very cute and fun. But this was so fucking relatable as an ADHD gremlin, because they end up making out, almost having sex. He has his hand, if not in her vagina, on her vulva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she has her hand over his dick, and they're making out, and then she looks up and goes, what's that? And he's like, what? Because there's no blood in that upper head. It's all gone. And she scrambles off of him and runs up to this thing. And she's like, oh my God, we were looking down the whole time instead of looking up. And he's still dick combobulated.
Right.
What the hell is happening? And she's like, she pulls out her medallion and he's like,
what is that?
Fuck is that? And it fits.
Yes.
And she realizes this isn't a medallion with a temple and a moon. It might be, but more importantly, it's an arrow.
Uh-huh.
And the way that it fits in this thing points in a direction.
And then
so
she's like, what's over there? And he's like, hold on. There was that rock. I said it looked like it had a face on it. That's probably the monkey face rock. And so then they go back to that situation where she fell, find the next medallion spot, and they decide that they're going to try one more time. So she tells the team, get your shit together. Let's get ready. And we're going to keep on following this, right?
Importantly, before they make it to Monkey Rock, they are stopped by voices because Hunter is there.
Oh,
the jackass from the boat. And Hunter is there. And then a man walks out of the forest. We're in Miri's point of view. And she's like, oh my God, this is Pierre.
This is Vautour.
And then she looks over and Rafa is
sheet white.
White-faced.
Yeah.
There is no blood in that face because it has all drained away, and it's not for fun make out on the stone table reasons. It is, in fact, Vautour.
And he says, Dad? And
we switch over to Rafa's point of view, and that beginning of a chapter was devastating.
Yeah.
It's like, Rafa is like, oh my fucking God. I have been completely manipulated by the one parent that I have, the person I am closest to, because I don't have friends. My mother's dead. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You're the bad guy?
Yeah.
And Vautour is basically like, makes a deal. He's like, you need to leave, Miri. Son, I'm going to bring you into the fold. Oh my God. He said the most, like, what a pointed statement. And especially in our current world climate.
Okay.
Essentially was agonizing and such an important thing to think about.
What runs the world? Is that what it is?
Well, not only what runs the world, but how do you think we afforded the life that I gave you?
Yeah. That's definitely part
like,
of it.
Having, like, woof.
No,
like,
when he said, what do you think runs the world? It's secrets and money. Mm-hmm, and I was like, too. That is too close to the Epstein files for my liking. Thank you very much.
Well, like, and there's that, but also just as a child of somebody.
Yeah.
Like, that having to come to the reckoning, like, and acknowledge and recognize, everything that I was given growing up, all of the advantages that I have were literally on the backs of everybody else. Right.
On stolen artifacts and blackmailed professionals and, black market trading.
We didn't really dive into this in our recap, listener. And in the first book, there's a lot of it because we meet Vautour. Like, we don't actually see him, or like, I don't remember exactly, but like, we learn a lot about the behind the scenes stuff that we get less of in this book because Miri's fairly new to archaeology. She kind of knows who Vautour is, and she knows him now, especially after the scandal that was the last book and all these things. But like, that's a bad man.
Yeah.
That is
terrifying.
That's a bad man. And they make a deal that Miri won't get hurt if she leaves and never speaks of this and just says it was a failed expedition, and leaves him and his lidar, and he brings his son into the fold. And he's like, okay, well, Hunter, take him back to camp. She leaves, but she doesn't actually leave because I loved this. I really loved this because from her point of view, she's like, okay, I'm going to leave. And instead of it being this whole thing of like, how could, like, she made Rafa some villain about all, she's like, no, like, yeah, he did shitty things by sabotaging stuff, but like, he was manipulated into thinking he was doing what he needed to do to protect the legacy of his mother and his ancestors.
Well, and she's not even there yet, right? She doesn't know any of that, but she is like, the look on his face when he saw who Vautour was.
He was blindsided.
There's no way that he knew. So
he was in on it.
It must have been something that made him do it. Rafa's too good of a person to, like, do this for nefarious reasons. Yeah, so she hangs around.
And then Hunter, that little fucking asshole, takes him back to camp. But on the way, they get into like a verbal tiff. And then Hunter goes fully off the rails and attacks him and is like, I'm leaving you for dead because I'm not sharing any of my loot with you.
Yeah.
And attacks him, leaves him for dead. She comes across him, runs back, gets, I think, Felix and Lucas are like some of the only people who are left.
Yeah.
And her bestie. And she brings them back. They get him, take him back to the resort. Hunter was like, I'm going to tell Vautour that you ran away, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And
hopefully you get eaten by a jaguar before you wake up, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he ends up like back in the cabin and she's like, I need to know everything. I know that you fucked me over for a long time, but you need to be totally clear with me about what happened and why, and then maybe we can go from there. And he spills everything about his backstory and the reasons and more about his relationship with his father and how awful he feels because the dad kept on being like, I'm going to bring you into the fold. And he's like, I don't want anything out of your fucking criminal enterprise. I want none of this.
I've been trying to get out from under your influence and your thumb since even before this. That's why I was leaving Not Nat Geo.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I deserved the position. Even though I'm an award-winning journalist nowadays because I'm a good journalist, I got given my first journalism journalies.
And now I know that it's like I didn't, like, you didn't deserve it. Who did you blackmail to get me this job? Like, that's it's terrible, right? And so then they end up boning, okay? They do have some sexes that are so good.
It is so funny, though, because when they get in to have this conversation, he's about to get in the shower, and she shows up at his fucking cabin.
Yeah.
And she's like, we need to talk. And he's like, okay.
Uh-huh.
And he's still covered in mud and blood.
Oh, God.
And she's like, well, you can shower first. And he's like,
okay.
Because he turned off the water to come talk to her. And she's like, no, you can shower first. And then he goes in and turns the water back on. And then she comes up to them. She's like, actually, no, wait. I need to talk to you now, though.
I can't wait.
And he's like, okay. And she's like, no, it's fine. And he's like,
and so finally she's like, just give me that washcloth. And she makes him talk while she's like washing off his face. And he's like, why are you being so nice to me? And she says, I'm not being nice to you. It's just that you're too hideous to talk to, covered in all this stuff.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret. With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
and that's when he spills all the beans and all of those things. And then it's on again, TM. They fuck in the shower.
Yeah.
It's
hot.
And he in all of his recently demudded and deblooded glory, carries her to the bed while they're both still soaking wet. You fucking lunatic. What are you doing?
Wowee.
And like plops her on there. And then they have weird wet sex on what is now a moist bed. And a damp bed. For those of you who don't like moist. And they are like, we can give it another shot, basically.
Yeah, we gotta try one more time.
The romance is like, we're good to go. Like, we're gonna go from here. But they also decide, we're gonna send everybody else when the thing comes tomorrow. We're gonna fucking find that thing, though. We're gonna go find that moon city.
So these two are gonna find the moon city, and then they have everybody else go and like alert the Brazilian authorities and stuff so that they can have backup the next day. And they end up, going on a big treasure romp. They're doing the clues and they're trekking the forest. They come across his dad's camp and they steal some LiDAR images from him. She's like, you go off and I'm going to be a sneaky sneak and I'm going to steal the LiDAR images and then I'll meet you back over wherever.
Catwoman those LiDAR images out of there. So, and then they make it to the moon city.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's like, the way it was described was also so fascinating. I loved it so much because it was such a good representation or example of the legend being based in truth, but the legend is bigger than the reality.
Yes, of course.
In most instances, because it's this idea, and it's like, yeah, the moon, like it's definitely a moon city. It's beautiful under the light, but like most of it isn't that fancy blue rock, that lapis. Most of it is like the huts that they live in that are pretty destroyed by time and the fucking rainfall. The fact that honestly there's anything not made of stone left.
I know.
Is bananas to me in the Amazon rainforest.
I know.
But whatever. zippy zapping, whimsying. So they go through, they make it into they walk into, I loved this too, because this description of the temple, because when you think of like temples in like South America and stuff like that, you're thinking of the Mayans, you're thinking of the Aztecs, the Incas, all those things, and these gigantic temples that like rise out of the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this isn't that. This is a different people. It's like the size of a 2-story house.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But
but it's not
magnificent.
It's not like the 300
not.
steps up to the top kind of a situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just really beautiful. And then unsurprisingly, fucking Vautour and his lackeys show up again.
Yeah, enter
and
stage
lock
left.
them up someplace. Yeah, because he's like, hey, you think that I would only have one copy of the LiDAR?
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally, like, what a good point. But also, we live in the digital age. You have satellite internet reception.
Yeah.
He probably has it on his evil man Google Drive.
It's on the drive.
You know,
yeah.
like,
It's on the cloud. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're locking her up, the guy, Sergio, who we've seen throughout the thing in different altercations, gets in her ear and he says, okay, Senora, look for the moon or something like that. And then he leaves.
So cool.
Yeah. So she's like, I think he might be a protector. I think he's trying to help us escape this. So she starts looking around the wall and she finds a secret moon inscription that ends up being an unlock to a door that goes to catacombs that lead to places.
That those pulleys still work.
I know.
She really lucked out.
I know.
We're going fully Indiana Jones with this.
Yes. And when they get to like the bottom, there's like this ruckus and, there's a tinkling and stuff. And it's because they've made it to like the big treasure room. And that's where Vautour and all of his cronies are, filling their bags full of like coins and riches and everything. And so
yeah,
Rafa tries to make a scene so that she can escape down. And it turns into this big fighty fight. She twists her ankle trying to get out of the place. And Hunter ends up with a gun pulled on Rafa, being like, nobody's gonna fucking move. And then I'm in charge now. And then Sergio comes up behind Hunter with a knife to his throat. And he's like, oh no, not you. Nice try. The protectors of the Moon City are here. And so they like lock everybody up, except that his dad.
Hunter runs off into the forest.
And Hunter
he's probably dead because
escaped.
he's just a poor schmuck lackey.
Maybe.
But Vautour makes it away. But now they know who he is.
Yes, and he can be exposed. And then Sergio's like, she's like, why did you help us? And he says, because you didn't want anything to do with the treasure. You weren't here for that reason.
And they're like, why did you let Vautour get this far, though? And Sergio's like, well, with LiDAR and...
We kind of have to know if it can be possible.
Yeah.
Better to be with them than not with them.
And so we have to figure out a new way to protect the city.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the happy ending as far as archaeology times is concerned in this book.
Well, and then he says to Rafa, I knew your mom. Do you want to meet your grandma? And Rafa's like, what?
The comments throughout the entire book about how Rafa's mom is probably a stone cold hottie because he's a stone cold hottie. And then the confirmation that she was in fact a stone cold hottie was so fucking funny to me.
It was really cute. Yeah. So basically, the HEA is that he writes his article, and it's like, we found the Moon City, nanny nanny boo boo. No, we're not going to tell you about it. Yes, my dad is an international fugitive. Wow, have you seen my rad almost wife? She's pretty great. She did it all by herself, and that's the deal.
And it's so funny because his boss is like, I can't publish this, because he drops like the F-bomb 18 billion times in there, and like he's just a sassy little shit. And
he's like, okay, don't.
Okay, well, if you don't publish it, I'll put it on my blog tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's going out no matter what. And then the guy's like, well, you can't have a job here if you do that, though. And he's like,
great.
Check your email.
Yeah.
And he quit. He's done.
He's going to write fiction.
Ending, like,
the way he wants to.
They're together foreversies. And they're working with the protectors do all of the things and protect the city. And like, it's interesting because they're so high profile that they can't just blend into the background.
No.
But one of the things they can do is bring attention to the people. She creates like a nonprofit foundation because she goes back to Berkeley and they're like, well, where's the proof? And she's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm starting a nonprofit. And
he's
it's
gotten
just
to know his
wonderful.
family. He's got like 85 cousins.
Oh, it's so
It's
cute.
so great.
Oh God, I just got chills.
Yeah, they're going to get married. And she's like, I'm so sorry we've still been all over the place because I really want to get you a plant. But it's going to be one of those.
She does get him a
Yeah,
plant.
it's going to be one of those self-watering ones because who knows? You think it's because you were gone all the time. You might just have a black thumb, you know? So it's very cute. They're together forever, and I loved it. Sabrina, what's your lady love?
My lady love is the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie.
Yes, I just watched that with my kids.
Okay, I had not watched it because I had fears that it would be like the movie that will not be named that was supposedly based off of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was a travesty. And I was terrified it was going to be something like that because I saw that it was like a lot of people didn't like the live action How to Train Your Dragon, and I was really concerned about it. And How to Train Your Dragon is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I fully have tattoo plans for it, and then seeing the live action really just solidified that. And I'm not talking about like tattoo plans. I'm talking about like travel for tattoo from the best artist I can find kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking good. My Amy kept me, because I kept like whispering while we were watching. I was quoting the whole time because it's almost word for word. And I kept quoting the movie, and then randomly I'd be like, oh my God, scene for scene, scene for scene, scene for scene. And so like while we were watching it, I did look it up, and the reviews were basically like what was the fucking point? It was a perfect movie. Like, why would you even bother making it? And it's like, because sometimes people want to see things come to life.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. The live action was amazing. I'm so fucking grateful that they waited until CGI is what it is. So like, I get these complaints, but also like, what's the win? Because it's a extremely faithful scene for scene adaptation.
Yes.
Would you rather they take liberties?
No,
Because I
absolutely.
wouldn't. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. And it just reawakened my absolute adoration of that movie. And it's one of the very few times where I'm like, I could have done without the romance. I don't give a shit about his his little thing with Astrid. It's fine.
I mean, his romance is with Toothless, you know? Like,
Yeah,
that's the
it's like-
relationship that I want and
Exactly.
need. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from us, it's a hot take for us to be like, romance was fine.
Yes.
Could have done without it.
Don't
It
care.
would have been fine if there had been none of the don't give a shit, because him and Toothless.
No.
It's
He
just
found
so
his soulmate
fucking good.
already. It's a dragon.
And the way that I have just been lately had heated rivalry on in the background while I'm doing other things, it's about to be How to Train Your Dragon again. I can feel it. This is by far the movie I've seen the most in my life.
Oh,
I've
nice.
watched it possibly triple digits. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just, that's my fucking lady love. The live action of it was so good.
Yeah.
And just like seeing it all over again on screen.
I cried,
The whole thing of like
obviously.
misunderstood, and everyone is doing what they need to survive, and it seems like it's at odds. But if we
Making
come
parental
together,
figures
then we can
proud.
make a better world. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And obviously
Finding
I was
a new
endlessly
way,
delighted
you know?
by the boob helmet.
Yes.
That's always going to be one of the funniest things that is ever a thing.
I love it.
So that's my lady love. What's your lady love, Mel?
My lady love is this email that we got from a listener, and I'm going to include the links that she sent. It says, "Hi, Mel and Sabrina. My name is Katie, and I've been an HB for several years now. You guys are a constant source of amusement and great book recommendations. Thank you for that. I know, like me, and honestly anyone who has a soul, you guys are feeling horrified by the seemingly never-ending awful shit that is happening right now. I mean, honestly, every day is like we've reached the top floor of the what the hell elevator and then still discover more. Isn't that great?
What the hell elevator
love
is
that.
such a quality. Okay, continue.
I'm emailing because I truly believe that people do more acts of good and kindness every day than bad. They're quiet things that often go ignored, but they are powerful. I guess all this is to say that I thought of you guys and the HB community in general when I bought Girl Scout cookies today. There is a site that helps trans, non-binary, and gender-fluid scouts and troops sell their cookies. Some of them are in ICE areas and don't feel safe selling cookies out in public. This seemed like something the HB community would get behind and be a powerful force for good in these scouts' lives. And then it says, if nothing else, maybe you guys can get some delicious cookies. And then she said, I wasn't sure if fundraising like this could be put in the Discord or whatever. And I obviously responded saying, yes, of course, please put it in the Discord. And yeah, I'm going to put the link in our show notes so that you can buy Girl Scout cookies online and help some of these trans and non-binary scouts meet their goals of like, I think some of them are like, annual trips and stuff like that.
Can we put them in, like, I know this episode doesn't come out for a few weeks. Can we put them in show notes, like, starting soon?
Yeah. If I can get my shit together, maybe I can put it in our link tree. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a mess. No, not possible, but
I'm already making it hard on you by bleeping out redacted a couple of times in this episode. So like, I'm so sorry, but like, I will help you where I can. But I love that.
Same.
I was also just thinking, it's time for me to now as of tomorrow, I'm about to have a gigantic freezer, and it sounds like time to
stock up
on Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah,
I fucking love a Girl Scout cookie. Oh my God, a tag along.
Yeah. And like, I love this too, because when you click on each of the scouts, like names in the thing, it gives you a readout of like how many more packages that they need to get to help reach their goal. So like this scout, Charlie, needs to sell 125 more. Another one needs to sell like 425 more. Another one needs to sell like 900 more, and so we can help them get there. Anyway, that is my lady love. Go buy some Girl Scout cookies for yourself. Treat yourself. It'll be great.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I support this.
All right. Keep being a badass.
And love yourself as much as we love the cutest nickname in the world, Pringles.
Yes. Keep being a badass and love yourself as much as you love this cunnilingus king.
Love yourself as much as you love a fucking true blue cargo short.
Ooh, that's the one. Yeah. All right.
And a fanny pack.
Obviously. Bye. Thank you for listening. Next week, we'll be back with our very first Omegaverse book, Baby and the Late Night Howlers by Catherine Moon. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomspodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you next week.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.